But listen,
Wait a minute, Del. Wait a minute, Del. I have stood by you in your Mr. Pandora arguments, but now you're hating on my expansion.
I'm not hating.
Okay,
I'm not,
let's
honestly,
hear this. Let's hear this, Zell. Everyone quiet down. Let him finish every single point.
Okay, let's hear
This
it.
is going straight onto YouTube, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, it's the honestly, I don't have like a lot of shit to back it up, but a lot of people don't realize that like from like a gameplay, that's when accessibility was at its peak, was freaking like Wrath of the Lich King. You could do raids like crazy, but no one minded. But now that you have Flex and you have more accessibility, people are like, oh, this sucks. We want the game to be hard. But everyone then toots Wrath's horn, horn when the whole accessibility started. And then the story was good, but it was practically Warcraft 3. Like it was basically
blasphemy.
All right, no, let him finish.
You take it back. No. He can say whatever he wants about my wife. He could talk about my country, but I'll be damned if he makes fun of Lich King.
No, I'm saying Lich King is awesome. I love Lich King, but it's been told like it's.
This was getting back at him though. He ended the game on top. The bad guy won.
I'm not saying that Wrath is a bad expansion. I honestly, it's either like it's right there with Mr. Pandora. I love Wrath. It's either my first or second. Like it changes. But I think it's so
called it overrated.
But it's definitely overrated.
This is a completely different argument.
It's completely overrated because people forget some of the problems that it had. Like it's like the nostalgia glasses are like full strength when it comes to Wrath.
Look, I will admit that, I always have this theory, whatever you watch or do first that gets you into something is always your favorite. Like, the first anime I ever watched was Outlaw Star, and it's my favorite one. Yeah, out of all the ones I've seen, it's still my favorite because that was the first one I watched. That's what I fell in love with, and Wrath was my first expansion. Oh, the first game I played in WoW. But, comparing it to everything else, it does feel like it was at its peak. Why? Because look, the player base was at its peak. It was awesome for a reason.
I honestly think the beginning of Kato is we went back to 12K or 12 million.
Well, at the beginning of an expansion, you can't.
No, but I don't think Wrath was at its peak. I think it's the beginning of Kato.
Well,
the beginning of Kato was, but that's moot point.
Well,
no, I mean I'm just countering why wouldn't you? If that's a point that you gave, that Wrath was good because the player base was its highest. How come you didn't feel that way?
But look, I said
no.
But think about
Rain
this.
said that.
Every single patch that came out, the player base increased. That was the last game that's happened. Every time a patch comes out since, it's decreased. It increased slightly and then it'd go back down.
The Warlords of Draenor had the biggest increase in any expansion.
And the biggest decrease.
That's negative.
But I'm just saying the biggest increase, though. We're just talking about.
But Wrath had the most consistency. It just kept going up after expansion after expansion. More people joined. That's never happened since.
Now okay, hypothetical question here. Do you feel like that's because it was Wrath of the Lich King? Let's take another expansion, because at that point, WoW was getting more exposure. Had we put, let's say, Kata or Warlords of Draenor, do you feel like we still would have hit that 12 million mark?
No.
No, because it was the Lich King, man. And it was word of mouth, dude. I'm here because of word of mouth. I'm playing WoW in Wrath because of word of mouth, because all my friends told my brother, you need to play this fucking game. My brother said, dude, you gotta play this fucking game. It's badass.
And nerds.
The thing is, they picked the best time to make Lich King because WoW was peaking.
Are we back on level 70s?
I'm back.
Okay.
I think if they had pushed it out, it might have another expansion might have brought it down because everyone was waiting to continue the Warcraft 3 storylines. Burning Crusade featured Illidan. People wanted to see him again. Now Lich King. Once Lich King really kind of wrapped up the Warcraft games, and every game after Lich King has kind of just been its own new story.
All right. So let me shoot down some of your points here, Zell. Go ahead and invite me back to group and QSS.
Honestly, like I said, Wrath is the second, like my second favorite expansion. In my heart of heart, I really do believe that it's overhyped. A lot of people forget some of the problems that it had, and they just.
What problems?
Oh shit! Hold on, my cat's on my computer.
What problems?
Oh, he's googling. He's googling Lich King problems right now, guys.
I want to hear what problems Lich King had besides Nax as the opening raid, which I'll agree to.
See, I can't really say that because how many percentage of players actually saw Nax? And think about how many players have increased after Vanilla ended and when Wrath started. There's so many players that never even done Nax that got to taste it.
That's true.
No, I didn't do Nax.
I was excited for Nax. Have you read the Ashbringer comic book?
I did not read the
Ashbringer. Oh my god.
My brother was like
so amazing.
Oh, his brother.
Hey, you guys want to come smoke weed in my grandma's pit?
Yes. Let's do this!
My god, Battlegrounds are amazing without all the bots. People are so much worse than the bots ever were.
Oh my god, I want in.
If you read Ashbringer, it makes Nax better.
Well, I've read, I know the story behind Ashbringer. It's pretty badass.
Like, not just the story, because they actually go in there and you see Thaddeus up close, and they talk about how he's an evil dickhole, and he's fucking a Frankenstein of all guru-ness.
Azul Narub, we're doing.
So Zell, what problems did Wrath have?
Listen, I'm just playing devil's advocate already at the end of the day.
You said it. You said Wrath had problems, and I want to hear what you think those problems were. No, you said it, not me. You said it. I love you, Zell.
Yeah, one more thing. Ocarina of Time, greatest game ever. Every other game, obsolete.
Yeah!
Oh god. Zelda is the worst
Ocarina of Time was the worst Zelda.
Oh my god, put that guy back on. That guy can suck my dick.
You suck. Ocarina of Time sucks, and go play a real video game.
How bad was your childhood?
How can we have a GM that hates Zelda games? Can we please?
Dude, my brother hates joy and happiness and all
that. You
were
playing Ocarina of Time when you were a child? Because that is the only excuse for not liking Ocarina of Time.
Yeah,
I admit I am not the biggest Zelda fan either. I'm just kind of like, I like a game with a really good story that drives you in, and Zelda doesn't really have like that for me. It's just kind of like, oh shit, the princess is in trouble, man. Get your green fucking tutu on and go save the world.